Hello students, welcome back to the video series of Python programming. I am your instructor Shweta Yagnik, and today we are going to see different sorting techniques and implementation using Python. So the topics to be covered today are first bubble sort, then we are going to see insertion sort, and lastly we will see the selection sort. So the first sorting technique that we are going to see is bubble sort. Okay, bubble sort is the simplest sorting algorithm which works based on the adjacent element comparison, and if they are out of order then we'll swap it. So we'll see the implementation and we'll understand the sorting technique. It is the program for implementation of bubble sort. So first I'll be executing it, and based on the output we'll understand what is the process of bubble sort. So right now I'm executing it. As you can see over here, there is number of passes. Okay, these passes are because of our outer loop, that is i's loop. Okay, so how many passes are we having in this particular example? Okay, that depends on based on the number of elements. So here we are having 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 number of elements are there. So total will be requiring n minus 1 passes. Okay, so total 5 passes, and after each pass what happens that we will see. So at the end of the first pass, the biggest element, okay, will be at the last position. That means it is at its proper position. At the end of the second pass, the second largest element will be placed at its proper position. At the end of the third pass, what we see is the third largest element is placed properly. At the end of fourth pass, we can see 22 is properly placed. Okay, and at the end of fifth pass, all the elements are at its location. So total requirement of number of passes are n minus 1. So exactly what happens in each pass? So in each pass we will see this thing. We'll be doing comparison. Okay, we are starting from 0, we are going till this index, and why we are reducing this index pass by pass, that are also we are going to see. So here for the first pass we'll see these two elements, and if they are found adjacent element are out of order, then we'll swap it. Okay, so 64 and 90 are swapped, okay, within the first iteration of the first pass. In the next iteration of the first pass, what happens? This will be now as an input for the next iteration, and if 25 and 90 found out of order. Here what I mean by out of order is the bigger element is placed ahead of the smaller element which is out of order. That's why we'll swap these two elements. Okay, now for the next iteration, 12 and 90 and 12 are compared and they are out of order. That is the reason why they will be swapped. For the next iteration, this is the input. So 90 and 22 will be compared, and as you can see over here, they are swapped. Now for the next iteration, this list is an input, okay, and 90 and minus 9 is compared. They are out of order, that's why they will be swapped. So finally at the end of your first pass, your 90 is at proper position. Now this list is an input for the next pass. Okay, so here 64 and 25 will be compared. As they are out of order, 64 will be swapped, okay, and 25. So 64 and 25 will be swapped, and this is the input for the next iteration. 64 and 22 out of order, that's why they will be swapped. Now for the next iteration, 64 and 22 and 64 will be compared, and finally 64 will be placed at the second last position. Okay, so now onwards these two elements are not needed to be compared. Okay, that is the reason why we are deducting minus I. That means at the end of two passes, these two elements are already at proper position. So what is the point in comparing and wasting time? That's why we are ignoring these two elements which are already at proper position. Okay, so for the third pass and onwards, we'll be seeing the adjacent elements are compared and getting swapped. So let us see the code and understand. This is the outer loop. Will maintain the passes. So as you can see over here, there are total n minus 1 passes are required in order to sort the array or list having n elements. So this is for our reference, okay, on which pass we are. J's loop is internal loop to have these internal iterations in order to swap adjacent elements if they are found out of order. So here we are arranging our list in ascending order, that's why we are comparing like this. Okay, the element residing over here is greater than the element, the adjacent element. Then what will happen? It will be swapped. So that is the reason why we are swapping. And as you can see over here, in single line we are swapping two elements. At j location we are assigning j plus 1 element, and at j plus 1 element at this particular address we are assigning element which is residing at array of j. So at the end of each swapping we are displaying the array position so that we can find out exactly what is happening at the end of the swapping. So if we just reverse this particular sign and if we see the output, okay, as you can see over here, the array is sorted in descending order. Okay, the highest element is at the first position and the lowest is at the last position. So the next sorting technique is insertion sort. Okay, insertion sort works similarly the way we sort playing cards in our hand. Okay, so if you are having set of cards and if we have a sub-sorted list, we pick one card and we put it at a proper position. So we see what are the steps, and this picture depicts how the insertion sort process. So step 1, the first element is considered as already sorted. Now in step 2, pick the next element, that is 7 in this case. Now it will be compared with the previous elements, and over here we are having only single element present. So right now it will be compared with 9 and it is found out of order, that's why it will be placed at proper position. Okay, so 7 will be placed properly. So 7 and 9 are now called a sorted sublist. Okay, now next is 6. 6 is compared, it is again out of order, so that's why it will be placed at proper position. Next 15 is already at proper position, so no need to do any swapping. 16 is again at the proper position. Now 5 is compared with the sorted list and it is found out of order. Okay, that's why it is placed at proper position, okay, at the ahead of the list. Now next thing is that 11. Now 11 is compared with the sorted list. It will be found that the proper position of 11 is between 10 and 15. That's why the list elements are adjusted such that 11 can be placed at its proper position. So now we'll see the code of Python. Given code is implementation of the insertion sort technique. So here we are having the array list, okay, and first of all I execute it so that based on the output I can show you the working of insertion sort. So here this is our original list. Now we are starting with I in range 1 to length of the array. Why we are starting over here with 1? Because the 0th index element, that is this element, is considered already in a sorted position, because 12 is considered as a sorted, and next element onwards all the element will be taken one by one and will be compared with this 12, and if the element is found out of order they will be swapped. Okay, so we'll see that. So right now in key array of I, that is right now it is 1 for the first time, so key is 11. Okay, that 11 will be compared with the sorted array, and right now sorted array is only single element which is 12. So if the key is smaller than the array, okay, then the sorted array, then we will swap it. So here you can see we are creating a space and will keep the key at proper position. So 11 is swapped. Okay, and these two elements are now at the proper position. Now for the next iteration 13, which is right now already in proper position, now 5, so you can say 5 is the key which will be compared, okay, with these elements one by one, and as it is the lowest element, it will be kept at proper position, and which is the first position itself. Now next element is 6 is compared, and 6 is key which is not lesser than 5, that's why there is no swapping. But as soon as we compare it with 11, it is found out of order, so that's why 6 is placed at the place of 11, and these elements are shifted because of this code. So we are creating a space for the out of order element, and at that place we'll be keeping that element. And what is the termination condition? That is j should be greater than equal to 0, because every time we are decrementing j, because we need to loop around all the sorted list. Okay, we need to see all the elements and we need to compare that current key value is smaller than any of the element, okay, of the sorted list. If it is found, then we will shift the elements. Now the next sorting algorithm that we are going to see is a selection sort. Now what is the working technique of the selection sort is, it is subdividing, it is dividing our list into two sub lists. First is sorted and another is unsorted. So it will pick the minimum element from the unsorted list and put it into the sorted list. So first of all I am executing it. Now this is our list, okay, and see simultaneously we'll be seeing the code. So I in range of length a, that means it will start from 0 to the end of the list, then find the minimum element. So here we'll be seeing that I, which is currently pointing to 0th location, so minimum index right now is this. So this is considered as the index of the minimum element, a minimum value element. Next, j is ranging from I plus 1 to length, that means we'll be comparing with this. So if any element is found which is having minimum value, okay, and we'll be swapping with this element with this, okay. So if any element is found with the minimum value in unsorted list, then that element will be swapped at with the 70. So let us see after the first iteration what happens, that the minimum element from the unsorted list, okay, that is the right side sub list, is 1. So 1 is swapped with the 70. So you can see 70 and 1 are swapped. Okay, what was the working of bubble sort? They are actually comparing the adjacent elements, and here what we are doing, number of swappings are lesser in this case, because we are finding out the index of the minimum element, that is this element's index, and we are comparing that, we are just directly swapping between 70 and 1, as you can see over here. So after the first iteration, this is the output. Now we'll consider this is the sorted list. So we'll find out the minimum element from the unsorted, that is 6. So 6 and this will be now swapped. So over here the 18 is minimum element, that will be swapped, okay, at this with the 22. So 22 and 18 are swapped, as you can see over here. So these elements are now considered as a sorted list. We'll find out the minimum from this. 22 is found minimum, it will be kept as the first position of the unsorted list. So unsorted list starts from 70, 22 and 78. Minimum is 22. So minimum is 22, which is kept at the first position of the unsorted list. Okay, that is how the working is. So here I is ranging from 0. We are starting from 0. This is the minimum index for the first time. Okay, and we are ranging from I plus 1 to length, that means we are searching the minimum from this list I plus 1 onwards. If the minimum index, that is if we are finding anything lesser than 70, then minimum index will be updated. That means now with what we need to compare, is the new minimum index that we have found. That is how we can come to know what is the actual minimum element from the unsorted list. So I hope you have understood the working of bubble sort, insertion sort and selection sort. As you know, the bubble sort requires maximum number of comparison and swapping because it works on adjacent elements, while in case of selection sort, only the swapping between two elements occur at the end of each passes. That means the minimum element and the index value of the unsorted list. So I hope you have enjoyed today's session. See you soon in next session where we'll be learning the rest of the sorting techniques. Till then, happy learning.